Hi, if you're a brand new sewer and have been gifted a brand new sewing machine for Christmas, or ended your birthday, or you saved up and bought your very first machine, first of all, lucky you! This is an amazing hobby which I know you will love. Secondly, after learning how to thread your machine, you will need to know how to find your stitch length and your stitch width and what the difference between those is. In this video, I'm going to show you how to find the stitch length on 3 different machines. So you'll be able to find the stitch length on your own machine with complete ease. Then stick around to the end because I'll give you a link to my video on the difference between stitch length and stitch width and what happens when you adjust them. I'm Kim, this is Quilt with Kim, you're very welcome. Let's go take a look at our very first machine. So on this computerized machine, you can see here we've got 2 symbols down at the bottom when we've switched it on. Spoiler alert, this is your stitch width, the little zigzaggy symbol. And over here where we've got a little dashed line, a dot to a dash, that is your stitch length. And purely by adjusting the buttons underneath it, we can decrease and increase our stitch length. Now your stitch length on a machine would tend to default to 2.5 millimeters when you're on a computerized machine. If you're on a manual machine, you need to adjust it to 2.5 on the dial. Don't worry, I'm going to show you where to find that in the next couple of machines, but this is the standard stitch length you're looking for, and we can tell that this machine is all set up ready to go on a basic stitch because it's got this symbol up here for a basic running stitch, which is what we want to stitch with. So it's this symbol you will see will turn up on the other 2 machines. So let's go take a look at those. Let's have a look at machine number 2 then, this Singer. So you can see I've circled 3 areas where we've got this dashed line. Now this circle over on the left with a little slidey underneath the dash symbol there, that is a part of the buttonhole selecting process. Now with some of the older machines perhaps, and even some of the newer ones, the more sort of basic entry-level machines, you might find you've got a 4-step buttonhole process. I'm not covering that in this video, but that's what this little area is for, and you can tell because just next to the wide zigzag here we've got a tiny little buttonhole symbol, so we can kind of ignore this little dash line here. However, over on the right here underneath the area where we select our stitches, you can see I've circled the number 5 with a dashed line above it. So that tells the machine that I want to stitch a straight stitch, a basic running stitch. And you can see with the dial underneath that the number 5 has been selected and marries up to that little dot just above it. But how do we adjust the stitch length? So if you have a look at the bottom where I've circled another little slidey bar with 0 up to 4 at the end there, that is where we adjust our stitch length. So we can slide that little button, that slider, down to 0 or all the way up to 4 depending on what we're doing. And you can see here that the slidey button has been selected to sit at 2.5, which if you remember from the previous computerized machine, that's our standard stitch length. Okay, so what I would do for this machine is select my straight stitch by selecting the stitch selector number 5, and then I would adjust the stitch length down at the bottom here. So let's move on to the next and the 3rd machine to have a look at that one. Here we are then with this slightly unidentified white and blue machine. So we can see our stitch selector patterns over on the left, the different stitches that we could choose. And you can see about halfway along, number 13 and 14 are our straight stitches. I think I can see definitely 13 is our straight stitch. And then if you look along to the right where I've circled another little slidey button, slider, that is where we adjust our stitch length. So can you see on the top of the slider there, you can see that little same dashed symbol again. It goes from a little dot up to a longer stitch, like a stitch line. And that is, again, where we adjust our stitch length. So on all of these 3 machines, that stitch length symbol is exactly the same throughout. So you might have a machine with a dial on top or a slidey button on top of your machine, and that's fine. All you need to look for is that dash symbol where it goes from a dot through to different length dashes, and that is your stitch length adjuster. And there you have it, 3 different machines showing you 3 different places where that stitch length adjuster might be. But they all have one thing in common, and that is that dotted to dashed line symbol, which is what you need to look for on your machine to be able to adjust your stitch length. And if you want to know the difference between your stitch length and your stitch width, then check out my video on it just here. Thank you so much for watching. If this has been helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.